We're live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Indian Prime Minister's focus on development works across wide range of sectors and changing lives during his 5-state visit beginning Monday. India's top court says no immunity for MPs, MLAs in the bribe for vote case. Supreme Court passes unanimous judgment. Shehbaz Sharif will take oath as 24th Prime Minister of Pakistan, will lead a coalition government for a second time. And Nikki Haley defeats Donald Trump in Washington, D.C., her first victory of the 2024 presidential campaign. And on to the top story. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi begins his 5-state visit to Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, West Bengal and Bihar from Monday. He will launch development projects worth around $12.8 billion with plans to triple nuclear power capacity by 2031-32. India is taking big strides towards clean energy and enhanced security. Pioneering the world's first thorium-based nuclear plant, Bhavani, India is leading the charge in sustainable energy innovation. Watch this special report by correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya for more.
Did you know India is on a mission to triple its nuclear power capacity by 2031-2032, aiming to boost the clean energy production and enhance long-term energy security? Currently, nuclear energy accounts for about 3% of India's total electricity generation. But with the government's ambitious plan, this is set to increase significantly. India is also pioneering the world's first thorium-based nuclear plant, Bhavani, utilizing uranium, a groundbreaking initiative located in Kalpakam in Tamil Nadu. With 23 nuclear power reactors already installed across the country and more in the pipeline, India is poised for a remarkable energy transformation. Moreover, the government has given in-principle approval to collaborate with the United States of America to set up 6 nuclear power plants in Srikakulam district, further cementing India's commitment to clean and sustainable energy. India's journey towards a green future through nuclear energy is not just about powering homes and industries, but also about paving the way for a cleaner and more sustainable tomorrow. Stay tuned for more updates on India's remarkable strides in clean energy production. With camera person Ajay Shankar, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for DD India from Kalpakam in Tamil Nadu.
And a 7-judge constitution bench of the Supreme Court has ruled that an MP or MLA cannot claim immunity from prosecution on a charge of bribery in connection with the voter speech in the Parliament or Legislative Assembly. In a unanimous view, the Supreme Court's constitutional bench overruled the 1998 judgment in the P.V. Narasimha Rao case. The court expressed a disagreement with its own judgment in P.V. Narasimha Rao case, which grants immunity to legislator for alleged bribery for making a speech or vote in a particular manner in the House that has wide ramifications. The top court held that corruption and bribery by legislators destroy the functioning of Indian parliamentary democracy. The bench, headed by the CJI, said that the bribery is not rendered immune, citing Article 105 or 194. The Supreme Court said that the interpretation of P.V. Narasimha Rao judgment is contrary to Articles 105 and 194 of the Constitution. Also, Chief Justice Chandrachud further observed that the offence of bribe is crystallized on the taking of illegal gratification, and it does not depend on whether the voter speech is given later. A bench of 7 judges, headed by the Chief Justice of India in October, reserved order after hearing the submissions. Other judges on the bench are Justices A.S. Bopanna, M.M. Sandresh, P.S. Narasimha, J.B. Pardiwala, Sanjay Kumar and Manoj Mishra. And for more on this, we have our correspondent Vikas Sarthi joining us. Well, Vikas, a landmark verdict today. Supreme Court said no immunity from prosecution to MPs and MLAs and categorically overruled the 1998 PV Narasimha Rao verdict. What were the key observations of the Supreme Court judgment?
Right, Lepakshi. So the Supreme Court was of the view that the 1998 judgment was a flawed judgment. In fact, Supreme Court has said that whatever immunity has been provided to MPs and MLAs are meant for their right to speech in the House, and it is not meant to protect them from acts like accepting bribery or favors from individuals or from other parties. So Supreme Court has made it very clear that this immunity is available only when this immunity is exercised cautiously. Apart from it, court has also held that the interpretation given by the earlier judgment was wrong, and apart from it, court has also held that the same principle, whatever Supreme Court has said today, will be applicable in the Rajya Sabha election as well, and in the elections related to the Vice President and President of India. So in a way, Supreme Court has given a major shift towards how we see the privileges and immunities to the legislators, and court has made it very clear that these immunities are given to raise the issues related to the common man, and it cannot be exercised to gain something, to get undue favors from individuals. Whatever the earlier provision is that if an MP or MLA says anything in the House and votes in a particular way, though the voting was guided by the whip's rule, that whatever chief whip of the party gave the instruction to its MPs and MLAs, they had to follow it. But the statements or the speeches were completely beyond any kind of control, and whatever can be said by the MPs and MLAs, and it will not be, it cannot be a ground of any kind of prosecution, even for accepting bribery or some undue favor for that particular speech. So court has made it very clear that if an MLA or an MP receives any kind of bribery and undue favor for any statement, he will also have to face the prosecution under Prevention of Corruption Act. So the kind of immunity which is being exercised by the legislators as of now, it will not be applicable in the future.
All right. Thank you so much, Vikas, for that information. A landmark judgment indeed today by the Supreme Court. And moving on, the Defence Ministry is holding DefConnect 2024 in New Delhi today. The event was inaugurated by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh with an aim to promote indigenous innovation and facilitating partnerships between key stakeholders, including the armed forces, defence industry leaders, startups, academia and policymakers. The event aims to facilitate meaningful engagements, showcase cutting-edge technologies, and is poised to be a transformative platform for fostering collaboration, innovation and entrepreneurship in the defence sector.
भारत इस मामले में सौभाग्यशाली है साथियों कि उसके पास एनर्जेटिक और स्किल्ड युवाओं की एक बहुत बड़ी वर्क फोर्स है जो भारत को लगातार टेक्नोलॉजी के क्षेत्र में आगे बढ़ाने के लिए पूरी तरह से कमिटेड है। यह हमारे नौजवानों की मेहनत का ही परिणाम है कि आईडेक्स को प्राइम मिनिस्टर्स इनोवेशन अवार्ड से सम्मानित किया गया है। साथियों, हमारी डीपीएसयूज और सर्विसेज ने जितने भी चैलेंजेस दिए, हमारे युवाओं ने उसमें बढ़-चढ़ कर हिस्सा लिया और सफलतापूर्वक उन चैलेंजेस को स्वीकार करके उसे अंजाम दिया। अब इस मुहिम में आईडेक्स प्राइम से भी आगे बढ़कर हम अदिति स्कीम को लॉन्च कर रहे हैं, उससे भी आगे बढ़कर, जहां हम अपने नौजवानों को तथा उनके स्टार्टअप्स को उनके इनोवेशन में मदद करने के लिए 25 करोड़ तक की हम मदद प्रोवाइड करेंगे।
Well, Prime Minister of Thailand, Srettha Thavisin, attended the ceremony to invite the Lord Buddha's relics and the Arihant's relics in Sanam Luang, Bangkok on Sunday. Thousands of devotees to gather to pay homage on the last day of exposition in Bangkok. From the Thai capital, the relics will go to Chiang Mai city in northern part of the country for 4 days on Tuesday, that is 5th of March. Then the relics will be taken to Yubon Ratchachatnini in northeastern Thailand on March 10th for the next 4 days, and then to the beach town of Krabi in southern Thailand on March 15th. Concluding a historic and spiritually enriching exposition in the Southeast Asian country, this sacred journey will culminate on 19th of March, with the relics being escorted back to their respective homes in India. And India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has expressed delight that a large part of Thai people are attending the historic and spiritually enriching exposition of relics in Thailand. In a tweet, he posted pictures and said, and I quote, "Deeply moved to see 1 million Thai devotees pay respect to the Buddhist holy relics which travelled from India. Our shared heritage and culture is a bridge that creates a special bond." He also thanked the Ministry of Culture, Government of India, Embassy of India in Thailand and International Buddhist Confederation for their efforts. Well, an Indian delegation will present a copy of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita to the Parliament of Sri Lanka as part of the International Gita Mahotsav on Monday. The 3-day International Gita Mahotsav concluded at the Nelam Pokuna Theatre premises in Colombo on Sunday. On the last day, devotees witnessed a Sadbhavna Yatra in the form of Perahera in Colombo. In Sri Lankan traditions, Peraheras are bright and colourful pageants or processions which include drum beaters, dancers and tuskers. It is the 5th such occasion that the International Gita Mahotsav was organised outside India and the first time ever in Sri Lanka. And now let's take a look at other stories making news today. India's Ministry of Home Affairs on Monday handed over Bengaluru's the Rameshwaram Cafe Blast probe to National Investigation Agency. On 1st of March, at least 9 people were injured when a blast took place at Rameshwaram Cafe in Brookfield in East Bengaluru. A snow martial arts training camp has been organised by a sports academy in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir's Budgam district. The camp aimed to promote snow martial arts in the Kashmir Valley, bringing together martial art enthusiasts from across the district. Under the banner of India's ruling political party, BJP, Shakti Vandan Run is scheduled to take place across 988 districts in the country from Monday. This 3-day event aims to promote fitness and underscores the significance of women's empowerment. The run promises to be a vibrant and spirited occasion. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris to meet with a member of Israel's war cabinet in Washington to discuss humanitarian aid, urges Hamas to agree to immediate ceasefire. South Korea U.S. troops kick off annual drills over North threats. Pyongyang calls them rehearsals for a nuclear war. And in football, Phil Foden's heroics leads Manchester City to 3-win win over Man United in the Premier League clash.
Wherever news breaks, whatever it takes.
Connecting corners, cutting across continents.
Stories that matter from across the globe.
Accurate, authentic journalism that serves you right. From politics to glamour, from sports to world affairs, with a fusion of aesthetics and substance. Introducing news in a new avatar. Experience the world through a new lens. Stay tuned to DD India for an exciting journey beyond borders.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on, after being elected as the Prime Minister of Pakistan again, Shehbaz Sharif will be administered the oath of office on Monday. Nawaz Sharif's younger brother, 72-year-old Shehbaz, will lead a coalition government for a second time. Shehbaz was the consensus candidate of the Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz and the Pakistan People's Party, receiving 201 votes, 32 more than what was required to become leader of the House in the 336-member Parliament. The new government will have to immediately start talks with the IMF as the current IMF agreement expires in April. Sharif and his party will also have to deal with growing discontent over deepening poverty. And moving on, U.S. presidential candidate Nikki Haley won the Washington, D.C. Republican primary on Sunday, her first victory in the nominating process and a symbolic win for the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. She still faces near impossible odds in her quest to win the Republican nomination to take on likely Democratic nominee President Joe Biden in November. Trump won the first 8 nominating contests by significant margins before losing to Haley in America's capital city. Haley, the only remaining challenger to Donald Trump in the race, won 62.9% of the vote versus 33.2% captured by the former president. On Tuesday, voters in 15 states and 1 U.S. territory will caucus or go to the polls on the biggest day of nominating contest in the presidential primary. Known as Super Tuesday, 74 Republican delegates will be up for grabs. Well, the Vice President of the United States is due to meet with a member of Israel's war cabinet in Washington later today to discuss how to get humanitarian aid into Gaza. Kamala Harris and Benny Gantz are also expected to talk about the need for a temporary ceasefire. According to Gantz's office, he will also meet U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Our U.S. correspondent Jagrati Dave has more.
Officials from both sides have confirmed that the meeting is taking place. In a statement, Benny Gantz said that U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, as well as a bipartisan group of congressmen and women, would also be attending. A White House official said that Vice President Harris would be expressing her concern for the safety of around 1.5 million Palestinian people seeking refuge in Gaza.
And given the immense scale of suffering in Gaza, there must be an immediate ceasefire for at least the next 6 weeks, which is what is currently on the table. This will get the hostages out and get a significant amount of aid in. This would allow us to build something more enduring, to ensure Israel is secure, and to respect the right of the Palestinian people to dignity, freedom, and self-determination.
The White House is coming under increasing pressure to help broker a ceasefire, as well as secure the release of the remaining Israeli hostages captured by Hamas. All of this comes to the backdrop of fragile ongoing truce talks, as well as an airdrop of humanitarian aid over the weekend in Gaza by the Biden administration, while the United Nations is warning that the Palestinian people in Gaza are on the verge of a famine. Jagrati Dave in Washington reporting for DD India.
Well, in Poland, protesting farmers blocked all 6 border crossings to Ukraine on Sunday. The move comes after months of protest by Poland's agricultural workers against cheap Ukrainian imports threatening their livelihoods. Polish protesters continue to block all traffic at border crossing points, stopping all trucks from crossing. The farmers put forward many demands, including 2 main ones: the abolition of duty-free trade with Ukraine and the complete closure of the Ukrainian-Polish border for trucks. This was the 4th incident in recent days. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk said earlier this week that Warsaw was in talks with Kyiv about temporarily shutting the border, although the Ukrainian side denied his claim. And French lawmakers will meet today to hold a final vote on inscribing abortion into the Constitution. French President Emmanuel Macron convened a special Congress of National Assembly representatives and senators in Versailles after both houses of the parliament approved to enshrine the guaranteed freedom to abortion into its constitution. If the proposition garners a 3/5 majority in the Special Congress, France will become the world's first nation to constitutionalize abortion. The move followed a U.S. Supreme Court decision that reversed the ruling that recognized women's constitutional right to abortion and opened the door to states to ban the procedure. And South Korea plans to start legal proceedings that could lead to punishments for doctors who have walked off the job and disrupted healthcare to protest a plan to increase medical school enrollment. The country's Vice Health Minister, Park Min-soo, told a briefing that the government would take steps to suspend the medical licenses of the some 7,000 trainee doctors who had left their jobs. And South Korea and the United States began their annual spring military drills on Monday with a focus on heading off North Korea's any potential use of nuclear weapons. The 11-day Freedom Shield exercises come as North Korea continues to test various missiles and other weapon systems and develop its nuclear capability. It is the first since Pyongyang scrapped the 2018 Inter-Korean Military Pact in November. The drills will be tough and realistic and based on scenarios that reflect lessons learned from recent wars and conflicts. North Korea has accused their allies of stoking tensions with military drills, calling it rehearsals for a nuclear war. Seoul and Washington say the exercises are defensive in nature and meant to respond to North's threats. And Malaysia is willing to reopen an investigation into the disappearance of Malaysian Airlines MH370 in 2014 if there is compelling new evidence. Malaysia, along with Australia and China, closed a 2-year, $130 million underwater hunt in January 2017 without any conclusive result. The statement comes as the kin of victims mark 10 years of disappearance of the plane. And a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket launches 4 astronauts to the International Space Station for NASA on the Crew 8 mission. Crew 8 is the 8th crew rotation mission of SpaceX's human space transportation system and its 9th flight with astronauts. Over 200 science experiments and technology demonstrations will take place during Crew 8's mission of approximately 6 months in space. Experiments will include using stem cells to create organoid metals to study degenerative diseases, studying the effects of microgravity and UV radiation on plants at a cellular level.
T-minus 10, 9, engines full power.
You're watching DD India News Hour. Time now for some sports news. Phil Foden's heroics kept Manchester City's Premier League title challenge on track with a superb 3-1 home victory over Manchester United on Sunday. Foden arrowed a sublime effort into the top corner in the 56th minute, and the England forward then produced a clinical finish with 10 minutes of normal time remaining. Erling Haaland, who missed a golden first-half chance, secured the points with a late strike. Reigning champion City, with an unbeaten run in all competitions of 19, moved to 62 points, one behind leaders Liverpool, which it visits next weekend. United remains in 6th place with 44 points. And New Zealand captain Tim Southee might be tempted to recall retired pacer Neil Wagner to the side for the second and final test against Australia following an injury to fast bowler Will O'Rourke. The host side has suffered a crushing 172-run defeat in the opening test on Sunday, and skipper Tim Southee said the door was not shut on Wagner, who had bid a tearful adieu to international cricket last week after taking 260 wickets in 64 test matches. Southee, however, was sure that pacer Trent Boult, who last played in a test in June 2022, won't play the second game in Christchurch. Well, a team of experts in South China's Hainan province recorded significant progress in the artificial breeding of stony corals. The experts have used the latest propagation technology to breed nearly 6 lakh corals in the waters of the Phoenix Island. All right, that's all for this edition of DD India Live. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.